Hello and welcome back to Here We Tow. Today I'm going to be reviewing this. This is our 2016 Adria Coral Plus 690 SC motorhome. And that's quite a mouthful. This motorhome was first registered in July 2016 and we purchased it pre-owned on the 1st of April 2021. So what do we need to know about it if you're considering buying a pre-owned 690 like this? Well, first of all, this motorhome, it is on the Fiat Ducato cab and chassis. The length of this motorhome is 7 metres and 38 centimetres and the width of it is 2 metres and 30 centimetres. Height-wise, it's 2.8 metres high, although because this one has an air conditioning unit fitted, it's nearer 3 metres and 10 centimetres. So it's just something to be aware of if you have something extra fitted to the roof. Now the engine on this is a 2.3 diesel engine with 130 brake horsepower. It's not the AdBlue engine, that came later. This one has a 6-speed manual gearbox, and that's all we need to know really about the mechanics of it. So let's head off down this offside. So as we come down, as you can see, we've got the iron grey cab and then we have the white coach built body, and the decals we've got red, dark grey and silver. Coming down, first thing you're going to notice is that the habitation door is on the right hand side or the offside, and that's pretty standard with a lot of European motorhomes, and it's something we actually prefer, to be honest, because we do like to go nose into a pitch because it quite often gives you a bit more privacy. So the door, one-piece door, we do have a window in it and there's a blind inside as well for added privacy. As we carry on down, we've got 2 vents here, and that's for the tower fridge and freezer that we're going to see when we go inside. Above there we have an awning light, those are LED lights, and then you'll notice this large wind out canopy. That's Fiamma, and that was fitted by the dealer when the motorhome was new. Coming further along, down here there's a gas point on this one. I don't know whether they came standard on the Plus or whether that was dealer fitted. I don't know, to be honest, but this one does have an external gas point. Another thing that the Plus has, they do have steel wheels with wheel trims. Alloy wheels are generally incorporated on Adrias in some of the packs, the Lux pack and the pack 2. So we just have the steel wheels with wheel trims. Windows. Now this is the window overlooking the washroom and toilet, and this window overlooks the island bed, which again we'll see when we go inside. Last but not least, we have a huge garage. Good thing about many of the European motorhomes are the garages. Now if I open that, you'll be able to see the size. Now this garage, it has a limit of 150 kilos, so must always be careful when you're loading up a garage. If you've got one, consider the axle weight on your rear axle and the amount of weight you're putting in the garage. But we've got a couple of e-bikes in there, tables and chairs and various bits, and we do know the weight of the stuff that's gone in there. This motorhome is a 3.5 ton motorhome, so you can drive it on your normal B category driver's licence. So if you've got a car licence, you'll be able to drive it. So that's the garage. There is also a light in there and it is heated as well. It's worth mentioning the payload as well on the Coral. It has a very generous payload of 505 kilograms, and this one hasn't been upplated at all. It is still 3.5 tons. If you felt that you needed more weight, you could always look to upplate, even on a pre-owned motorhome through companies that are available. As we make our way around the rear of the Coral 690, it's a large white one-piece. We do have parking sensors at the bottom, and there's also a rear view and reversing camera, which is always useful when you're reversing onto a pitch or if you're making your way to the motorhome service point and you're looking for the water grey waste to drive over that. So that's the back end of the Coral. We'll now continue round and make our way to the near side. So onto the near side. Now we're going to find another window into the bedroom and another access point to the garage as well, because we can get to it from both sides. Now this is where we're going to find our water filler. Now on this one, we've just got the water filler. There's no 12-volt pump on this, so you can only just fill this from the tap with a hose. The Coral 690, this has got a huge freshwater tank, 140 litres, which is massive, and that's situated under the island bed inside. As we come down further, we're then going to find our LPG or gas canister storage. This motorhome, as far as I know, it takes 2 11-kilo gas bottles. It might be 2 13 kilos, but it's certainly 11 or above. We just have one 10-kilogram in there, but you're going to be able to get plenty of gas, and that's often important if you're off-grid a lot or you're wanting to tour Europe when that opens back up to us. Coming down, we've got a kitchen window, and then up here we can see a vent, and that's for the extractor fan. There's an extractor above the hob. And then we have here the vent for the Truma. Now this motorhome has Truma air-blown heating. It works off electric or gas, and it also has the Truma hot water boiler. It's really efficient. That will heat your water up in no time at all. I'm being really impressed with the Truma heating system in general on this motorhome, to be fair. We then have another window. This looks into the lounge area. And then we're going to get our electric socket here. So when you are on hookup, it's here on the near side. Then we've got our diesel filler. And as I say, there's no AdBlue on this. Some of the 2016 older ones, they didn't have the AdBlue. So it's just the diesel. And it does have a 90-litre diesel tank, which again is great for those long journeys. You're not having to stop as often. Last but not least is what's up on the roof. As I mentioned, there is an air conditioning unit, Truma air conditioning, and I'll talk a bit more about that inside. It's also got an aerial on the roof of the motorhome. That was fitted by the dealer. It doesn't have solar panels. The only thing I would probably add to this motorhome is a solar panel, because I've found that I've missed that option to have the solar and go off grid for longer. So that's the only thing I would personally add to this motorhome. So that is the exterior of the Coral 690 SC. What we're going to do now is we'll go inside and take a closer look at what we're going to get in there. So come on, let's head in. So here we are inside the Coral 690. Now, as I say, this is a 2016 model, so current models are slightly different in terms of their fabric choices and things like that. But inside this one, we're going to get half leather seats and a nice hard-wearing brown fabric. Up front, as you can see, the blinds are drawn. Now, you get these blinds as standard with this 690. We've got a 6-speed manual gearbox. This has cruise control, and we also have air conditioning as well on this model here. This is our entertainment system. It also has a really good satellite navigation system, and you're also going to be able to use this to see the rear view camera as well. And that camera, you can use it as a driving camera as you're driving along the road to see what's going on behind you. It does both. So that's what we're going to get up here. There is a USB charger here as well, and a 12 volt as well, just under there. There's loads of storage space up here, which is something I've really liked. The storage just in front of your knees, the storage on top here. Got a mobile phone holder here, depending on the size of your mobile phone. And then there's also a further compartment down here as well. So there's plenty of storage. And there's also one small drinks holder there. You can on Amazon, as far as I know, buy additional cup holders that do attach to various parts within the Fiat Ducato cab, because the Fiat Ducato is obviously a popular van for many people, so you could always add something further if you wanted. Now, as we move back further into the motorhome itself, what I really like about this is the semi-dinette, and the S in the SC of the model refers to this semi-dinette. We get the 2 captain's chairs that turn around. We get the small bench seat there, which I do like. And then as we come round, we get the L shape. And this is what is called the semi-dinette on the Adria. As you can see, we've got a good sized table. Now this table, it does move. We've got a plunger on the floor. If you press that, you can lower and raise the table. And that's part of changing this into one of the 3 berths. This will convert along the motorhome into a single bed. We've got a piece here that pulls out. There's a button that you press. You slide that out. We lower the table, and then the cushions on the backrests will make into that berth. We've also got the seat belts in the seat as well. The table underneath, you can move the handle, and this table is going to move backwards and forwards, side to side, so depending on where people are sitting, there's plenty of room to eat. Now, above us we have one great big sunroof, and that does have a blind as well, so if it's a warm day you can pull that across. And we've also got the fly screens as well. Heading further back, we then get some nice LED lights, and there's a further sunroof as well just behind that, so that lets in lots of light to this area. You may have noticed I've got a couple of little lights here, and these literally just touch on and off. And then also here there's some underlighting, and again this is nice, you just touch these on and off, so you can have different ones on depending on which you want to use. It's good that there's plenty of lighting in the Coral, because this model has the darker wood trim. Now personally I've never been a fan of darker wood, but since buying the motorhome it's actually quite grown on me, and I can sort of see why people do like it. It gives a nice warm feeling. So the lighting does lift it, because otherwise it could feel quite dark in here, but it certainly doesn't. So cupboard space, well, there's plenty. So we've got two cupboards into the lounge area. This one has a shelf, this one doesn't have a shelf. And then on the opposite side, if I move around, now this headrest does come out, and if I open this cupboard, this is where we're going to find the television. Now here you can see a small shelf, this is where we keep all the remote controls, and if I push under here, this drops down, and under here is where we're going to find the cello television. There we go. So what you do is you take the headrest out, which I'm not going to do now, but you take that out, just put it down somewhere, and you've got a 12-volt cello telly, and that actually came with the motorhome. I've never had a cello before. It's okay. I think you get what you pay for, is what I'll say with that from my experience, but you've got a nice television there, and then when you're travelling you can just fold it up, close that, and that's all put away. So I must say I do like the television in the cupboard and how it drops down. Brilliant. So that's the lounge area. It's a really nice space, really good size. Nothing negative to say about this area. So what we're going to do is spin around. I'll show you some of the controls, and then we'll move over into the kitchen. So let's spin around. So this is a door. Yes, it is on the off side of the motorhome, the right hand side. Many of the European manufacturers do have the door on this side. Not a problem for us. We quite like it because it means we can go nose in on many of the pitches, and we quite like that privacy that it gives us. So personally, we do like that. You're going to get a concertina blind in the door, and there is a fly screen for when the door is open. There's also a bin situated in the door as well. The Fiat does have the remote central locking, so when you lock it, all the doors will lock, apart from the garage doors outside, which you have to use the key. There's a little bit of storage space just above the doors you come in. Not a space we've personally used, but it is there nonetheless. Now we come across to the control panel, and this is where we're going to find all the operations for the Coral 690. So there's an on-off button here, as we can see. Now these different controls, this is the awning light on and off, this one's the water pump, this is the one for the lights, which obviously is on at the moment, and then there's just an auxiliary button there, which as far as I'm aware doesn't do anything on this that I found. We then have the button here. This is going to show you how much fresh water that you've got on board. So we've currently got 25% out of our 140 litres. The red one is our waste tank, that is completely empty, but that would normally show you, especially when you're getting near to full. We then have the B1, this shows battery. Now that's the battery in the cab of the Fiat, and that says we're at 12.4 volts. Now we're not on hookup at the moment, so that's just the actual level itself. And B2 is the habitation battery, which is actually situated just under the sofa there, and that's at 12.3 at the moment. Obviously when you're on hookup, that's considerably different. It'll tell you the percentage as well, so there's 76% in that battery, and there's 82% in that one. So that's quite a handy feature. This here, what this button does is it's going to tell you how much power you're currently drawing or putting into your motorhome. So at the moment it's saying that it's negative, so we're currently taking power out of the batteries, which we will be because I've got all the lights on. Obviously when you're on hookup, that'll basically turn to a positive. Right, temperature inside, it's currently 20 degrees in here. Outside it's 17 degrees Celsius. So that is your temperature control. So there we go, that is that panel, and if you leave it, it'll just go off by itself. Truma, this motorhome has the Truma air-blown heating, and it's also got the Truma hot water. The hot water is situated under your semi-dinette, along with the dump control for that hot water. So we've then got a little bit of storage here. We've got a really handy USB charger in there as well for bobbing your phones and what have you. So that's always useful. And then we've got a number of light switches here for around the motorhome. And last but not least, got a grab handle, which is always useful for getting in. So that's the door side and what we're getting there. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to move into the kitchen and show you that next. So let's head to the kitchen. So here we are in the kitchen area, and this is on the near side of the motorhome, the left-hand side. Really good kitchen. I've really enjoyed using this. There's plenty of worktop space, and when this is down over the hob, there's plenty of space there. And I like the sink cover as well, because what I've found I've tended to do is just use one half of the sink for rinsing and washing, and then that's given me extra space here. Now, there are 3 gas burners. This is a Dometic appliance, so we've got the 3 burner gas hob. I use a little rubber mat just to deafen the sound for when we're driving, but we've got the 3 gas burners. I've used those. That's really good for the kettle as well, the whistling kettle. The sink is a really good size. If I take that off as well, we've got a really good depth on the sink, and these little covers just make it so much better for making it a usable space. Got the tap, obviously. Then we've got this little rail. I think the idea is you put your tea towel on there. It's not something I've used. I keep my tea towel in the drawer, but we've got that nonetheless. As you can see, there is a blind. There's plenty of lighting in the kitchen, and these work separately as well, like the ones in the lounge. And then we've got an extractor as well. So if you're cooking here, so you don't get a lot of condensation, just turn that on here. There you go, and that'll suck that out. And then we've got a further light switch which illuminates the splashback. That's pretty standard on a lot of the Adrias, and again, I like that. Plug socket, there's just one here in the kitchen, and that's under here. So what I found is I've had my coffee machine plugged in here, so you plug that in, but then you do sort of have the wires coming down. But again, this is pretty standard on Adria, having plug sockets underneath for some reason. Storage is fantastic in the kitchen. I'll just open these up. Tea bags, cereal, coffee pods. Then I've got sprays, kitchen roll, my whistling kettle. So absolutely loads of room in these cupboards, as well as the cupboards up there. Just close that. I've then got my drawer space. So this is my top drawer. I do need to get a cutlery tray, so it's a bit messy in there, but I need to get a cutlery tray, which I'll get for our new motorhome that's coming. Second drawer down, again, great for trays and bits and pieces. And then this bottom drawer's been fantastic. It's really deep, as you can see, and I've used this to put our plates, our cups, glasses, Fudge's drinking container. So that is a brilliant drawer, and they are all soft close. We move along. We've got a Thetford duplex oven. I'll open that. So this has a grill at the top, and then we've got the oven flame at the back to use it as an oven. Very good. I found that to generate much more heat than my last oven in the Caravan for some reason. And then down here we've got another little bit of storage. I've just put the oven trays in there. I've got my washing up liquid, and then we've got some isolators for the gas here. But again, good little bit of storage. And then over on the off side, we have the Thetford Tower fridge and freezer. And as you all know, I really am into my fridges and freezers. I do like the Thetford, I must say, big fan of Thetford. And this tower is absolutely huge. You can literally get a whole week's food rammed in here, and a good sized freezer compartment as well. So yeah, brilliant fridge and freezer. And that does run off gas and electric. Situated above there, I've got another storage cupboard. This is a big cupboard again. It has got a plug socket in there, so if you really did say want a microwave, you suppose you could put it in there, because there isn't a microwave in the Adria motorhomes. I think it also looks like somebody maybe had something like a bracket on there, so whether somebody's had something affixed in there, I don't know. But yeah, really good storage. Fudges bits go in there, and kitchen rolls. Another thing I really like is this screen. Now, daytime, nighttime, if you want to separate the areas, pull this across and it's absolutely perfect. You don't have to close all the blinds down in here. You can just close that and that's your bedroom then, completely private. Again, I really like I like this door, the nice finish. It feels solid. It's not just a privacy curtain. It's a full-on sliding door. So absolutely fantastic. I'll just close that up. And again, when it's in transit, it doesn't move anywhere. Above me, as you can see, we have the Truma Aventa air conditioning unit. This motorhome does have that fitted as it came. The dealer put that in, I think, from new back in probably in 2016, I'd imagine. So yeah, it does come with air conditioning. What we're going to do now is venture back into the motorhome. We're going to have a look at our toilet washroom, which is here on this side, and our shower, which is here on this side. So come on, let's head backwards. So we've moved back into the bedroom and washroom space. I really like the back end of the motorhome. Again, plenty of light comes in. There's two big windows on the sides. There's a big sunroof, and then there's lights. There's a hecky above the shower, and we've got a window in the toilet washroom as well. So on the off side of the motorhome, the right hand side, we find the toilet and washroom. We've got a Thetford swivel toilet. For privacy, there's the screen that pulls all the way around. Again, that doesn't move in transit. We've got a little shelf here for loo rolls. Press the button, slide along. I spent about 10 minutes trying to work out how to open that first, trying to work out how it pulled open. It slides. So we slide that across. You've got a good mirror then to use here. Plenty of shelves as well. There's a blanked off socket up there, which I presume could be used if you wanted to put a socket in there. We've got a hook for a towel there, and there's also a hook on this side for towels. Lights, well illuminated as well. Just slide that across. And that locks back into place. We've got a little shelf. The window, the only thing I'd like would be, if I was keeping this motorhome, I would get some of that frosted perspex that you can get to make this a frosted window, because whenever you go to the loo, you have to put the blind up for privacy, and if you forgot to do that, you might be a bit embarrassed. So that's the only thing I'd do there. Then we get the sink and the swivel tap. Now the sink's only small, but again, I've had no problems using it. The one thing I will say though is if you have the mirror pulled across, it does limit access into that sink. So that I have found as a slight problem. Under the sink though, excellent storage. Now we've got two good sized shelves. I get all my toiletries in here, and I've got my pink flush spray as well. So under storage, very good. So that little space is a really good little washroom. Really like that. What I'll do is we'll venture over this way now. So on here we've got another hook for towels if you wanted to hook there, or even a coat. So it's up to you. I've used that for my coat personally. Now this is the shower space, and as you can see, it's a really good size. You've got the privacy screen that pulls round, and there's also a shower screen as well. That isn't frosted. You can see straight through that, but we've used the shower quite a bit because of obviously the COVID restrictions. This meant the showers have been closed, so we've been using this. Very good shower. There is a light as well. The switch is just up there, so it's well illuminated. Got this for ventilation. You just turn that, and then somewhere to hang your towel as well. So yeah, in terms of the washing facilities on board, this is a really good size shower and a really good size toilet space as well. So excellent. Right, let's turn around and we'll have a closer look into the bedroom space. So the 690 SC, the C stands for central bed or island bed, which is this. Somebody did tell me it was a peninsula bed, so that was a new one on me and we had a bit of a laugh. But yeah, so it's an island bed. This is the back wall of the motorhome, so the headboard's against the back wall. The bed is currently retracted. On a night time you can pull that out, and as you can see, I do apologise, my bed is a mess. We have the duvets. These are amazing. I do recommend the duvets, but as you can see, it sits up like this. So if you wanted to sit up in bed, you can leave it like this with them pulled up. When the bed is pulled out for its nighttime position, as far as I'm aware, it's 6'3" in length, so it's a really good size. But you do have to remember, with the island bed, you do get the cut-offs on the mattresses. So if you're tall, you may find sort of one side your feet are going off the edge a bit there. So that's the bed. Very, very good size. There is storage underneath as well. You can get a few bits under there. And the fresh water tank, the 140 litre fresh water tank, that's under the bed as well. And you can also empty the tank from inside to drop any water if you weren't using the motorhome for a period of time. So that's the bed. You'll notice I'm quite high up. I'm on the top deck. I've stepped up from the floor. As you can see, it's probably about, I don't know, maybe 10 inches high. I'm 5'4". I've stepped up and I've still got a bit of headroom. If you're a taller person, you're probably not just going to be able to stand like I am. But the reason the bed is high is to accommodate that huge garage underneath. And it's quite nice sort of feeling that you're up here sleeping. Easy to get into though, the beds. These sides here, again, this is to allow for the garage. Now wardrobe space, really good. And they're illuminated. When you open the door, the wardrobes will illuminate. Good amount of space, and there is the rail as well. I've just got my bits just laid there at the moment. Other storage, we've got these overhead lockers. So I'll just open these. So again, I don't really use them because there's so much space elsewhere, but we've got lockers above for clothes or whatever you wanted to put in there. So they're always handy. And there's 3 of those. Now underneath there is a light switch just there, and that actually turns on and off the lights around the motorhome. So when you go to bed, you can turn just about every light off with that switch, which is quite handy when you realise you've forgotten a light, like I quite regularly do, but that's just me. These, you just touch these. They've got 2 settings. One brings on a little micro light there, and press again and you're going to get the proper light, and then press once more and it turns it off. So they are nice little softer reading lights or what have you for a night time. This motorhome came with a second cello television, another 12-volt telly here. This is the aerial, it's the Vision Plus. We've been getting sort of up to about 130, 140 channels on this little telly with this aerial. So yeah, absolutely brilliant. This will be going back with the motorhome as well when it goes back, when we part exchange it. The windows do have blinds, and we do have nets for privacy as well. And then there is a little bit of storage just under the bed. There's a drawer that pulls out as well, which is really handy. I use that more for putting clothes in because I find I can just stand at the end of the bed, pull that drawer out, and it's easily accessible. So that pretty much sums up the bedroom. Again, bed's comfy. The duvets are a must for us, to be fair. They're very good. You can watch television in bed. Brilliant. Can't really fault it back here. So what we'll do is we'll venture back up front and we'll just have a quick summary about the Coral 690 SC. So there we go, that is our pre-owned Adria Coral 690 SC that we bought on the 1st of April 2021. This motorhome's been absolutely fantastic. It's absolutely solid. It's currently got 10,700 miles on it, so it's a very low mileage for its 2016 age. This motorhome, we are part exchanging it, and it will be going back to Cara Motorhomes around the start of July when we hopefully collect our Compact Supreme DL. So if you are interested in this motorhome as a pre-owned, then give them a ring and ask any questions that you might have. As far as I'm aware, it will probably come with a 3-year warranty from Cara as well, which is a massive plus point for anybody looking at a used motorhome. So there we go. We've had some really happy memories and trips out of this motorhome for sure. It's been absolutely brilliant. Purchasing this was an excellent decision. Hopefully you've had a nice little look around it, as I say. Found out a bit more about Adria Motorhomes. And that's it for today. So, as always, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.